With March Madness starting in about a day, I know the first four started, but we're really looking forward to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to give you guys 6 college basketball players I think can most rise their stock during March Madness for the 2026 NBA Draft. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe. Go into the description to submit your video ideas because I will be doing them. And let's start off right away with a prospect I'm pretty intrigued about in Nate Ament. Nate Ament so far this year has been very up and down, especially with his consistency. He's only shooting about 40% from the field, but he is averaging 17 points per game. A player like him who was so highly touted out of high school, it's not crazy to see him have a sort of inefficient freshman season. But when you do pair that along with AJ Dybantsa going crazy as a wing, Darius Acuff having one of the best freshman years of all time, Cam Boozer probably winning player of the year, Darren Peterson still being a top pick, and all these freshmen succeeding at a very high level. If Nate Ament wants to be a secure lottery pick, this is someone who's going to have to string together 2 to 3 really strong March Madness games to put himself back into that conversation. I personally have him right about at the 10 to 14 range, so I still think he can be a lottery guy, but if he wants to get his name back into the top 8, top 6 talks like we sort of had him in before the season started, we have to see him string together these games. And honestly, it would not be too crazy to see. This is a good Tennessee team. They have some they have some senior leaders. Nate Ament not playing the role I thought he was going to be playing as a freshman. I thought he'd have the ball in his hands more, but he's been more of a catch and shoot guy, which is cool. His role's not going to be the same at the NBA level, but my number 1 player would be Nate Ament. See if he can string together some games and be potentially a top 10 prospect come NBA draft. My next guy is going to be Texas Tech point guard Christian Anderson. Christian Anderson throughout the year has been one of the more exciting players to watch in college basketball. We all expected him to have that big sophomore year jump, and it did happen. But now their best player, JT Toppin, tearing his ACL, being out for the season, there is no better scenario, which, I mean, it sounds bad that I'm saying this, but this is Christian Anderson's best time to come out on the scene and prove why he can be a top point guard in this year's draft. He's one of the best passers in college basketball. He's one of the best shooters in college basketball. He's able to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket as well. Really nice float game. But yeah, when we talk about these March Madness legends and Kemba Walker, Walter Clayton Jr., UConn fans, so I'll double up on UConn with this one. Shabazz Napier. Christian Anderson could enter his name into that talk if he goes on a crazy run to the Elite 8. Even the Sweet 16, because that would be pretty far considering they don't have their best player. He has all the tools to do it. I think he has the tools of an NBA point guard. He has good size as well. Christian Anderson could be a guy that if he does put together a couple of good March Madness games, we could see him potentially sniff the lottery. Speaking of UConn basketball, the next one's going to be Braylon Mullins out of UConn. Braylon Mullins has been one of the best movement shooters we've had in college basketball this whole season. He came in, had a high ankle sprain, so didn't play right away. But once he got acclimated, once he came in, this is someone whose light has never been greener. You think about UConn a couple years ago with Jordan Hawkins, who got drafted based purely off his 3-point shooting. Braylon Mullins' light is much greener than what Jordan Hawkins was at UConn. Braylon Mullins, he'll pull it from half court, but also he's able to put the ball on his floor and get to the mid-range too. What separates him, I think, from Jordan Hawkins, I think he is a better defender than Hawkins, also a better passer as well. Braylon Mullins, if this UConn team wants to make a run potentially even beat Duke in the Elite 8, guys like Braylon Mullins, guys like Solo Ball are going to have to play their best basketball. They're going to have to hit 3-point shots and play defense as well. We always see these shooters have long March Madness runs and boost their way up to near lottery to even higher than lottery. Braylon Mullins can be one of those guys. Someone who's grown to potentially be my favorite player from this draft class is Morez Johnson Jr. from Michigan. This Michigan team is easily talented enough to make a run and win the national championship, and I think one of their biggest X factors will be Morez Johnson Jr. He's a sophomore. He was at Illinois last year and didn't have as big as a role. Also, didn't hit a 3. This year at Michigan, he's shooting 38% from 3, averaging about 14 points per game, and I think the biggest takeaway from his game has to be his energy on the defensive and rebounding the basketball. He's someone I'm pretty confident can guard positions 1 through 5. Like I said before, his touch around the basket, and especially his shooting, much improved last year from Illinois, where I wouldn't even consider him really an NBA draft prospect. Personally, I have Morez Johnson as a lottery guy right now. I think I had it projected to the Spurs in my last mock draft. But when you have this high energy of a player who can rebound the basketball, who can make big defensive plays in big moments during the biggest tournament in basketball, Morez Johnson is someone who I can see kind of get more acclimated to maybe the more widespread basketball media in terms of draft prospects. I personally have him in the lottery right now. I'm very confident in how I have him rated. I see most people have him in the 20s and the 30s. I think by the time of tournament's end, Morez Johnson Jr. will be a lock of a lottery pick. Similar to Braylon Mullins, Isaiah Evans has also been one of the best shooters in college basketball. Isaiah Evans sure to put the team on his back come ACC tournament time. Didn't get the MVP. It did go to Cam Boozer, but we saw the best shooting we've seen the whole entire season from Isaiah Evans. We talked about shooters, how if they put together good games, make deep runs into March Madness, they can rise up the draft boards. Isaiah Evans this year, for me, has been more of a late first guy because he struggled with efficiency, but he puts together these 6 straight games. We could see him go right back to where we had him preseason, near lottery to even inside the lottery. Isaiah Evans, one of the best pure shooters in this draft class. We talk about movement shooters like Braylon Mullins. Isaiah Evans is also a solid movement shooter, but I would say he is potentially the best catch-and shooter in this draft class. Add to that, he's a good defensive player, nicknamed Slim. He's got long arms. Isaiah Evans is going to be a guy for sure to look out for March Madness, to where if Duke makes a deep run, I guarantee you Isaiah Evans will be one of the biggest reasons why. My last player from this list is going to be Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State University. In my opinion, what stands out most about Joshua Jefferson's game is going to be his defensive ability. Now, I know we did talk about switchable defenders earlier in this video with guys like Morez Johnson Jr. and even a Malik Brown I can throw into that name. Now, I don't think Joshua Jefferson can do it to the same extent as them, but he could be in that category as well. He does have good weight on him, so he can bang down low with bigger players, and he can move his feet on the perimeter. Joshua Jefferson, very impressive player on the defensive side of the basketball. Now, offensively, like I said, only 6'5", but it does have a bigger frame. He's able to score down low. I think at the NBA level, when you look at guys like Keldon Johnson, and in my opinion, maybe a weaker comp, but a Georges Niang who also played at Iowa State, Joshua Jefferson has the playmaking abilities and the scoring abilities to affect a basketball game right away when he enters the NBA. I think a win-now team should look to draft him, and for Iowa State this year, they have a really good chance to make a push for March Madness. Joshua Jefferson could probably be the catalyst for that to happen. Really good player, an older, experienced player. This is someone I think can for sure rise his stock come April. That's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, March Madness officially starts today. Now, for me, it's tomorrow, but you guys are watching it on a Thursday. So March Madness starts today for you guys. Yeah, sit down, relax, enjoy the games. It's going to be fun. Like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon, potentially breaking down the first round games of March Madness. Peace.